I'm Oz.
And I'm Tom.
And we're hosting our Summer Sipping Series for WineAlive.
We're here at the Pit House Kitchen Garden in Wiltshire, and we're with the Reverend Hubert.
Reverend Hubert?
So Oz, I'm playing bartender again. Here we go. I've got 4 amazing cocktails, all created with the amazing Reverend Hubert.
I know, Reverend Hubert. Tell me about Reverend Hubert.
So, Reverend Hubert is created by a really good friend of mine. You know him beautifully, brilliantly as well, the lovely Tom Lester. And it's a drink created in the Cotswolds. And it is completely in the vision of Tom's grandfather, who was the Reverend Hubert, the eponymous Reverend Hubert, seen on the bottle here. And he was a bit of a party lover. So his congregation, in his village church out in the Cotswolds, he used to bring them together by creating an incredible summer punch, is the idea. And here we have got the Summer Cup by Reverend Hubert, based on that exact recipe.
The Reverend Hubert Bell Lester.
There you go.
Absolutely right. He was at the end of the 19th century.
Yeah.
And he was an ex-army man.
Yes.
And one of his jobs actually in the army was guarding the Egyptian Sphinx.
I mean, what a claim to fame.
What a claim to fame.
That sounds
and he
like
then
a
became
tall
a
story.
priest, and he was a bit of a party man.
Yeah.
And I've seen a photograph of the Reverend Hubert in his parish, sitting there like this, surrounded by the ladies of the parish, all hatchet-faced, all carrying croquet mallets, and I'm told that he liked to.
Are you?
He was. Let's say he was married more than once, which is not a usual thing for an Anglican priest at that time.
Come on.
I think he was a bit of a party man.
Look,
and of course that would make sense if he invented a drink. Now, what's this? A summer cup.
Summer Cup. So
For his summer fete.
For his summer fete.
From his vicarage garden.
From his vicarage garden. The recipe of which was discovered in his notebooks after he had passed away. And Tom, his grandson who created it, found it in amongst belongings and artefacts from the family and has recreated it. And it's amazing. It's a great alternative to something like, Pimm's, the eponymous British summertime thing. Use it in the same way. It's absolutely lovely. Yeah. It's got pomegranates in there. It's got rhubarb for that astringency, that most British of ingredients. There's very, very lovely Cotswold plums in there. It's this rolling, juicy, delicious serve.
So all of the fruit is from the Cotswolds, is that right?
Most of it, yeah, exactly that. So the plums are from the Cotswolds, exactly that. And then you've got, all kinds of other things going in there from all around the world.
Yeah, I heard that Tom got this idea after his honeymoon in Amalfi.
Yeah.
And Amalfi is famous for lemons, by the way, wonderfully aromatic lemons. And I was told he came back to England obsessed by this Amalfi lemon flavour that he discovered and started making limoncello. Well, of course, if you had a honeymoon in Amalfi, they give you limoncello after every meal, every lunch, every dinner, every breakfast. They say, do you want some limoncello? You down the stuff at a rate of knots. 100%. He came back and started making limoncello. And this is where this all began.
And if what doesn't limoncello have? If you're living in the Cotswolds, you have rhubarb. Come on.
That's what we
require. I'm going to get this straight out the garden, which is amazing. And we're going to get a stick of rhubarb. We're going to stick it in there. And what I've done here is I've created just a classic Reverend Hubert and soda. There's a little bit of lovely kind of, what we've used is some Luscombe grapefruit soda here, but you could use the kind of rhubarb and raspberry from Fever Tree, whatever it might be, something nice and evocative, or a tonic water.
So is this slightly sweet, presumably, the Summer Cup?
Yeah, it is. The Summer Cup's just a little bit, gently sweet is the thing. There's a little bit of kind of cranberry in there as well.
You've taken yours out. I've been.
It'll get you in the eye. It'll get you in the eye.
I've been trying to get a drink out of this without actually losing an eye.
A garnish, I was once told, and I think this is important, a garnish should either complement the flavours and the aromas of a drink, or it should be peacocking. It should be making everybody else in the room, in this case, everybody else in the garden going, I want one of those. That's the thing. And that's what this is here to do. You're lucky I didn't put one of these fellas in there. That's it.
Yes, I noticed it when you brought it up. I thought that is impressive, Tom. Where did you find that?
Talk to me about this. Isn't it lovely?
The idea of soda is a good idea because it means that it cuts back on the sugar. You could use things like lemonade, could you?
Yeah, you could if you wanted it sweeter. And then it would be in that classic Wimbledon sort of style, wouldn't it? That would be easy drinking. It's a thing.
Tastes good off the stick.
Good, isn't it? Straight off the rhubarb. But I think it's absolutely delicious. You get this tartness of cranberries. You get this kind of sweetness of pomegranates. It's just layered and layered and layered. I love it.
And in that Englishy way, you think, I don't think this is alcoholic, but it is, isn't it?
Very much so, yeah. Not dramatically so. It's not going to cause you too much trouble. Where are we going? 20.1. 20.1, Thomas Lester. Bang on the nose.
And this is what? 2 parts soda to 1 part?
Yeah, literally 2 parts.
So we're talking about 7 or 8. 7 or 8.
Something like that. Like a strong beer by the time you've mixed a cocktail out of it.
Or a weak gin and tonic.
Or a weak gin and tonic. Depends what direction you're coming at.
It's a lot more like a weak gin and tonic than a strong beer.
Now, do you know a man called Joe Wadsack? Come on. Because Wadsack's involved.
A man called Joe Wadsack. Of course I do.
I'm seeing Wadsack tomorrow, actually. Wadsack and I do lots of festivals together, and we're in a tent at the weekend, which is going to be a lot of fun. Now, Joe is a legend. He's an icon of the wine trade, and Joe is involved as the nose, as the partner to Tom in this, the kind of assistant and creator and kind of comer-upper of recipes with. And so Joe has a big part to play in this as well. They're a high-energy pair. I love them.
I would have said the thing about Joe is that he's probably more than anyone I know a complete and utter flavour person.
Yes,
of everything, not just wine or spirits or beer or whatever. Flavour. He is obsessed by flavour, and he's got one of those palates which is able to not only see all the minute differences between flavours, but actually work out which ones are better. And I bet if he's involved with something like blending these, he will be able to look at 20 or 30 lemons and say, I can't tell you necessarily why, but number 19 is the one you need.
100%.
You look at 20 different sorts of sultana from Turkey, and he says, I'm not quite sure why, but number 11 is the one you need. Yeah. And he'll be right. It's something, he's got one of those brains that just gets flavour.
He so does. And so together they've created, a range of drinks. We're going to go on to the gin liqueur in a moment as well. But what I'm doing here is I'm serving you a Cotswold spritz.
That makes sense.
That's the plan.
I was just wondering whether this would work well with sparkling wine.
Using English sparkling to create a bit of a spritz.
Quite right too.
So we're using 50 mils Reverend Hubert. We're topping it up with 100 mils of delicious fizz. We're then putting in a little bit of soda. The soda here is to reduce the alcohol just a touch, but more than anything, it's to make the bubbles aggressive. It's high carbonated. It's super fresh. That's what we're after.
And also to lift the alcoholic syrup up. Otherwise, you can give it a muddle.
Look at you going in with your rhubarb. Come on, crossing the streams. A little bit of orange, a little bit of an orange wedge. Yeah. There you go, Oz. Get involved in that.
Lovely colour for us.
So that is a
summer colour.
Spritz.
Beautiful summer colour.
And as anything, it's freezing cold. All your summer drinks like this, get as much ice into that glass as you can, because then it doesn't dilute. It gets it to temperature quicker, the ice melts less, and you get this lovely, super fresh, refreshing kind of character.
Don't make this with something like Prosecco.
No!
Prosecco's too sweet and too soft.
I agree. If you want it sweet,
English sparkling wine, more acidity, more freshness. My God, that acid comes up and just makes your palate tingle.
It's good, isn't it?
Really good. Excuse me, one more.
So Reverend Hubert, Cotswold spritz.
Reverend Hubert. Now he would never have done this with sparkling wine, because of course there wasn't any sparkling wine from England available.
Exactly. So we're going to move on, and we're going to go to what they call the Reverend Hubert Winter Gin Liqueur. Now I love this. I know you love this, and it's a bit tastier in the sense that tasty as in, Danny Dyer tasty. It's tasty because it's 27% ABV. So we've gone up an alcohol bracket. Yeah. It's punchier in terms of the gin. And there's more spices going on here. There's Sri Lankan spices that they literally bring over and they grind down themselves. These are hard-won, labour of love, great ingredient.
Because it's winter, you expect more flavour to cope with the winter, and you get it. But of course, a winter liqueur, you can make into a fantastic, tasty base for a summer drink.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I love about this is that this is Joe Wadzak's, again, the seriousness that they go and find the right lemons.
Yeah.
They are Amalfi lemons.
Yeah,
and by the way,
are.
I think they started out with Sicilian orange, and then they discovered that there is actually an orange grove right behind the lemon grove in Amalfi. So they've got Amalfi lemons and Amalfi oranges. And they do all this stuff. They take all the peel off by hand.
I love it.
Presumably Tom and Joe just sitting there hour after hour, day after day, week after week for all I know. And when they do the Amalfi lemon, they're very careful to take the zest off, just the zest, no pith.
Really delicate.
Because lemon pith is a bit bitter.
If there's one thing I know about these two, delicacy is the challenge.
When they do the orange zest, they take a bit of the pith with the zest, because you know how when you're eating an orange, a little bit of pith, you normally get that when you're eating slices of orange, you get some pith there, and the pith actually just aids it. And they do it all by hand. In fact, Tom Lester had to have an operation on his wrist for repetitive strain syndrome because he spent so much time. There was hours and hours, day and night. Peeling all this stuff, and by the way, they supposedly grind their spices by hand.
He was at a WineAlive event actually in his little wrist support, wasn't he? I remember Christmas or two ago. Now, I'm making over here a modern classic. I am making the Reverend Hubert twist on the Negroni. So we have got one part, equal parts, three things equal parts. One part Reverend Hubert Winter Gin Liqueur, one part Rosso vermouth, classic Italian, sweet, bitter kind of vermouth, and then Campari, that Milanese classic. And alongside it, we're going to put a little wedge of orange in there, Oz. And this is a slightly lower ABV, because this is slightly less than the gin liqueur version of the classic Negroni. Do you like a Negroni?
I love Negronis. So in other words, this has got less gin, so less alcohol a bit, but it's got more bitterness.
It's got more bitterness.
It's got bitterness from the vermouth, bitterness for the Campari, but sweetness, but bitterness from the gin liqueur as well.
And you've got all those Amalfi lemons right through. All of those Sri Lankan spices kind of punch her, add a whole new layer of flavour to it. Super
the bitterness.
It's great.
It's fantastic. And of course, the sweetness of the vermouth and the Campari and the winter gin liqueur. You've got to have the bitterness. Without the bitterness, it absolutely wouldn't work.
I've got to put it down. They're so Moorish. That's the thing with a great Negroni, and this is a great version of a Negroni.
This is a great version of Negroni. I could put a bit of soda in that and make it into a long drink.
Like an Americano.
Yeah.
That is it. So you get yourself an Americano on the go.
The wasp up my nose at this very minute seems to agree with me.
It's an essential thing.
Go away.
It's an essential thing.
Go away.
It's a massive favourite, the Reverend, of drinkers, human drinkers and wasps, it turns out. They're here. They've come across the garden.
That's a seriously good Negroni.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The thing about Negroni, it's a bit like martinis. Negroni is there to be played with. It doesn't have to be just the classic. Same with martini, same with a lot of these great cocktails. Nowadays, mixologists all around the world take a classic and say, hey, but what do I put, how do I make this classic my classic? And this is a really good example. A Negroni with a Cotswold twist.
It's brighter. It's got juicier characters to it. It's a more Moorish, easier drinking Negroni. It's perfect. Now, I'm going to make you, final little pièce de résistance. I'm going to make you, if I can find my bitters, Oz, here we go. I'm going to make you a champagne cocktail, okay? The Reverend Hubert champagne cocktail. And this is a little bit ground, just for ease on the video. You can put a whole sugar cube in there if you want to, depending on how sweet you like it, with a few dashes of Angostura orange bitters, or any other orange bitters that you may fancy. And then what you do is using my spoon, Oz, which is around here somewhere.
Don't blame me.
Back into your spoon.
I was using the rhubarb stick. I wasn't using the spoon. You can have my rhubarb stick.
There's less about your rhubarb stick, please. We've been here before. Now, what you then do is you chuck in a decent whack of the Reverend Winter Gin Liqueur. This is great for Christmas, really great for Christmas. But if you're having kind of, the back end of a summer barbecue.
Just a bit more, yes.
Yeah, if you're back end of a summer barbecue.
My kind of barman, this.
Exactly. There's no worrying about gross profit margin here. We don't have to worry about any of these things. Now, what you want to do, and you could, if you want to do it at home, get it straight out of the fridge. I would keep these in the fridge for this cocktail if you're doing it. So you pour it in nice and cold into there. You muddle it down with the sugar. The sugar's just giving a bit of extra character. And then you're going to top it up, as we did before, with an ice cold, either English sparkling wine or champagne.
Oh, let's say English sparkling wine. We're in England. We're in an English country garden.
We so are. There you go, Oz. Perfect. And like when I'm making my martinis, Oz, you're going to have to forgive me. I haven't got time to muddle down all these sugar cube bits.
I don't want you to.
Look at it. And look at how they hold the bubbles. Isn't that beautiful? And finally...
Oh, the bubbles. Because, of course...
Have a bit of that. Orange.
Thank you. But the bubbles will catch onto something irregular and create far more bubbles. And if this was just the glass without the sugar, you wouldn't have nearly so many bubbles.
Be that. Exactly that.
That looks wonderful.
Doesn't that look nice? So perfect in the winter, perfect at Christmas, perfect finish to your summer barbecue. Give it a sniff. I mean, it's got what a champagne cocktail for me never has. You'd often do this with brandy. There's that spice, there's the Amalfi lemon, there's the lovely bitter notes, there's the berries, there's the gin botanicals. It's just awesome. There's so much more to it. It's easy.
It absolutely works. Not only is that fabulous gin liqueur richness, the bitterness tempered a bit here, but the acidity of English sparkling wine again. Again, ice cold English sparkling wine, ice cold gin liqueur. That's a fantastic drink.
That's a party starter, isn't it? That's dangerous. That's a we'll have one more before everyone goes after the barbecue. Oh my God, you're still here till midnight. Isn't that fun?
Oh my God, it's 2 a.m. and oh my God, it's 4 a.m. and what did you say your name was? It's all of that.
Come on.
Where do I live? What's my name?
I love it. Joe Watson, Tom Lester, you absolute heroes. We adore you. And the Reverend Hubert, there, it's working.
The Reverend Ginbert.
The Reverend Hubert Summer Cup and the Reverend Hubert Winter Gin Liqueur, they are exceptional summer serves.
Exceptional English summer serves. This is just one of our WineAlive Summer Sipping Series videos with me, Oz Clarke, and with my mate, Tom Surgey. If you'd like to know more about the wines we've tasted, head over to our blog at wine-alive.com and check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you sip splendidly this summer.